Good Saturday morning to you. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. This is your outlook for February 8th and 9th, 2014, the weekend outlook. And we do have a clipper system that's going to be moving through the area Sunday night into Monday. And I know there's some people getting a little excited because it was showing some pretty robust amounts on the European model last night. But I'm going to show you why there's going to remain a light system. First of all, we have our main system that missed the phase. This is the southern energy that head out to sea here. This is the low pressure sitting out in this direction. We're going to be watching for a clipper that's going to be diving in like this, and is going to redevelop over New England here. But watch what the GFS does here as we take this a little bit forward here. There's our system moving off the southeastern U.S. coast, and we got some spotty flurries, maybe a snow shower here that's going to occur Saturday evening into the overnight hours. But then here comes our clipper system, and you can see, well, let me get back to that frame here. As you can see, it puts a low pressure here, a surface closed low pressure here, as this brings this clipper down here, and it's going to take this from this point out in this direction here. Quick burst of snow here. GFS was actually the most robust of any model and actually put down a 2 to 4 inch swath over our area as opposed to 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. So not all models are this aggressive. GFS is the most aggressive of this, but this is the upside potential what the GFS is showing here. So don't get excited like we're going to get a big storm here. This has very limited potential. It's very quick moving. It'll be in and out, and then it pushes into England. See how fast that moves out. I mean, this is pretty quick here. Just develops right here. It has it developing early. That's why it dumps the extra inch or two of snow, and then it jumps out here pretty quickly. Go over to the NAM. Does something very similar. Not as quite as robust with a surface low pressure here. You're talking about a 1 to 2, maybe 3 inch in spots here on the NAM. And then we go to the high resolution version of the NAM here. We're going to start off with Saturday here because this does show some some flurries and maybe a snow shower here as we get to Saturday evening into the overnight here, and then that or at least the early part of the overnight, and then that moves out. And now we're going to get to Sunday here. Here's what Sunday does. This is midday Sunday. Here is Sunday afternoon. So this is about according to the NAM high res, this is 4 p.m. Sunday. Get this wall of snow coming in with the clipper here, and the next frame here is 7 p.m. So this is actually showing a little bit earlier, Sunday afternoon and evening, moving through. But it's just here's the next 3 hours, and the following 3 hours is out of here already by late evening. So when it does that, it has a 1 to 3 inch snowfall over the majority of our area, all the way from basically everywhere in our area here. We're not we're looking at anywhere getting slighted except maybe for the southern half of New Jersey, but excuse me, the southern half of Delaware, but generally a 1 to 3 inch snowfall across the area. Okay, let's go back to GFS. We're going to concentrate on the next storm now because this is the system on early Monday morning moving away, and then we have nothing going on here until we get into later in the week here. Now the GFS takes a storm system here, but this actually slows it down a little bit, brings it in Thursday into Friday now. Brings a very strong area low pressure here along the coastline of 998 millibars, but you can see verbatim to this run, this is all showing rain here, and I don't think we're going to be getting a rain system out of this. I think it's going to be you're either going to get snow or you're not, or it's going to slide too far east. I'm not liking the prospects of having any rain like the GFS is showing. The reason GFS is showing this, there's an 850 low that's sitting over the Great Lakes. It's actually keeping it warm keeping the system warmer because it's bringing air around it like this when it's up here in the Great Lakes, which keeps it a little bit warm. I don't see that happening, so I think it's either going to be snow or bust. We see we're still 150 hours away here, so a lot can happen. And that's that system on the GFS. Looking at the Canadian, very similar look, not warm. The system is sitting out here, not quite as robust. And then this system goes out like this and dumps snow over this area right here. This is what I think is going to end up happening if it does hit. Here's that 850 low I was talking about, but you see it's further back west. And because it's strong, a low pressure, an 850 low sitting out here, would bring in warm air out ahead of it, and that's why the GFS was showing that rain there. I don't think it's going to be rain though, but we'll get a little bit closer and determine that. Here's the European model. Same general idea. Kind of elongates the low here a little bit. The low is kind of elongated here, so it doesn't ramp up like some of the other models did here as it's sitting off the coast. So it's a very weak area of low pressure, but you still get snow up in this area. And the reason this is all snow in the European model is your 850 low isn't even on the map yet. It's way back here, so it doesn't have a chance to warm out ahead of it, and therefore you get snow in this area here. So a lot of different solutions here for next week, but we're looking at on the European model, a Canadian, or at least here's the European model. This is actually pre-Valentine's Day. This would be on the 13th, and same thing on the Canadian. The GFS was back here showing something here on the 14th, and the 13th into the 14th. So it was a little bit slower with it, which is a little strange because the GFS is usually the most progressive model, fastest model there is. But lots going to be determined what this storm does and how strong the southern jet is after we see what this storm here down south, how amped this gets, and it'll give us an indication of how to proceed with the next storm, and we'll give a better idea what's going to happen with that as we later in the weekend when we get a little bit closer and or into early next week, and we can determine what's going to happen, whether we have a storm that does in fact come up the coast like this for the end of the week and kind of hugs the coast, or one that goes a little bit further out and either misses or just slightly grazes us. So a lot of time to look at it. Still a progressive flow aloft, so I'm not really banking on a storm here, and actually kind of on the fence with that, whether we get it or not. Currently modeled to be so, but that can change. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, and don't be surprised if the models lose it, since we are in that progressive pattern. I am Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is your outlook for Saturday and Sunday, February 8th and 9th, 2014. Have a great weekend.